All right, this is the EXO K4 5000. Comes in at 5 pounds, 13 ounces, just under 5,700 cubic inches, obviously with the lid included. Cost is around $6.99 and it is made in the USA. Now, we just did a big review testing all 5 of these packs with 50 and 100 pounds. We're gonna do an individual video just talking about this pack, covering the suspension, the meat shelf, and the bag. Just kind of a brief overview. So, you want to kick it off by talking about your experience with the suspension and the comfort?
Sure. So me personally, I had never used an EXO mountain gear pack until the 50 and 100 pound pack test. And what I came to find is that this pack shines. This frame shines under load. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. When compared to some other packs, when you're wearing 50 and 100 pounds, it really makes a difference as to whether or not it feels like you're wearing 50 or 100 pounds.
Right.
But not only is this pack incredibly comfortable under load, I do like the way that the frame is, it has a simplistic approach. So if you look at it, it's very intuitive. There's not any bells and whistles that aren't necessary to achieve that comfort that it provides. So the shoulder straps are easily adjustable. If you have a little bit longer torso than some other guys or gals, you can see where to make those changes. But then moving down the lumbar pad, adequate thickness. It's not thin or thick in my opinion. It's right in that sweet spot. So maybe call it the Goldilocks of lumbar pads. And then the waist belt, it's very similar. It's almost a blend between a Cafaro and a Stone waist belt, if I had to say that. It works. There's nothing more on the waist belt than when you truly need to have that secure, comfortable fit. But basically, any disagreement there, or?
No, I would completely agree. I've been running EXO packs for quite a while. It is my personal choice, and I'm really happy with the performance, both lightweight when you're trying to be agile, closing on a stock and you don't have time to remove your pack, or when you're coming out with up to 100 pounds. I haven't loaded it with much more than that. Personally, I try not to go much heavier than that when I'm actually packing out, but it takes 100 pounds, no problem. It's comfortable. It doesn't feel like the pack or the frame is maxed out really. So
yeah, and I will add that during that 50 and 100 pound test, any on the go, on the trail adjustment that I had to do to get that, that fine tuning for proper fit, I was able to do so freely. I wasn't searching for adjustments. They were all easily seen. And then once I adjusted it, it held that location, held that position throughout the remainder of that leg of the test. So I think that's worth mentioning.
Yeah, definitely.
So that being said, you want to move into the bag?
Yeah, let's talk about a couple of the things just with this pack in particular. You've got some MOLLE stitching here and on the sides. So for the hip pouches, unlike your traditional slip over or attached to a strap, it's a MOLLE attachment. I could take it or leave it. It's kind of sixes to me personally.
As long as it'll hold an accessory securely without too much freedom of movement on its own, I think it's good to go. That I have yet to see with this pack, in all honesty. So.
Right. The downside is you do have to get MOLLE specific accessories for the pack.
True.
Buckles, straps, all check out. And then in terms of the bag itself, I don't mean to speak too highly of it in terms of like having a bias, but I do truly love the way that they did the organization of this pack. I think they hit it right on the mark for me personally. Everyone's got their own opinions of what they want out of a pack, but you've got a small lid along with a larger pocket on this lid here. So plenty of, I call it external storage, basically pockets that you can get to quickly.
Gotcha.
And I find that to be adequate. Pop the lid off, you've got a traditional roll top, so if you need to, you can expand this very high up, which I've had to do on some backpacking hunts. Then that lid will reach all the way up here. You end up with a pretty tall pack, but it's not shifty because of the proper suspension on this pack, so it definitely works. Front of the pack, you have a secondary access point, which I find myself using more often than the roll top. Basically, it's a horseshoe zipper that allows you to get into the bag there. You've got one organization pocket on the inside, and then a stretch pocket, vertical zipper on the front. This stretch pocket isn't the most useful for a lot of things, but I keep things like wipes, my spoon, little items like that, maybe an inReach. Don't think that you can put a spotting scope in here. It'd be a little tight.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty, it depends on the model, but it'd be tight.
But then they do have side pouches. I guess it's on the other side. So here, oh no, it is on both sides. Yeah. So you've got a full size side pouch on either side of adequate height. And I actually fit my tripod in one side. And then when I'm filming hunts, I'll normally fit my larger lens, or you could fit a spotting scope in the other side.
That's got to mean something coming from a camera guy.
It's nice to have that kind of weight close to your body, right? Like,
right.
To me, like you said, you don't bring a spotting scope too often, but I'm packing large optics plus a heavier tripod all the time. And having that weight close to my back and also separate from the main storage is huge to me. So that's something I appreciate. It's about it, really. You've got your sideways straps, so if you're trying to attach a bow to it or whatever, it's no problem.
Yeah, it's a very similar bag design with the Stone Glacier Sky 5900.
Very much so.
It's the same strap design, and for the most part, it's the same main compartment access design as well, with a few more zippers and side pockets included therein. So
yeah, it's pretty much the same idea, but with a little extra storage.
True.
So,
but it also comes at a weight penalty.
It does.
Of a few ounces, if that matters to someone. So
over half a pound.
Could be significant, depends on the user, right? So
definitely. One thing I will mention that I don't know why more pack companies don't do this is the angled straps. Basically, so that instead of trying to run your strap straight across, the strap attachment point to the frame is higher up than on the bag. So when you tighten this down, it's pulling the bag up and in.
And I will say that this bag and this frame, it works. I mean, with the 50 and 100 pound load, it felt like that load was always tight to the back and high on the back, high enough to where you want it. It didn't feel like it was sagging and affecting your posture. I think that contributed to better posture on the trail.
So. I think so. And then we definitely found that better posture means less fatigue.
Absolutely.
The packs that we were able to stand upright and have good posture in, way easier to carry. So the side pouches, I do wish there was a little more elasticity here. When you have the spotting scope pouches full, the side pouches are a little less usable. You do have another pocket right here for quick access items. You can actually grab that while the pack is on. Little things that you might need. And then other than that, probably ready to break into the meat shelf.
Okay, let's do it.
So, break into the meat shelf. Pretty simple, also similar to the Stone. You remove your lid. Come here. Then there's these Velcro straps here that actually hold the pack onto the stays as opposed to the straps underneath. Undo this Velcro, slide it out of this metal clip here, or whatever you'd call that. Just a little guy. Yeah. And the Velcro, these little straps aren't the easiest to get to, but it's also not a problem by any means. Undo this Velcro, then it just comes right off of these. Undo these side clips. And now you have full access to the frame. Now, something that I appreciate personally about the EXO is that you have these separate clips for your load. So basically, turn it around so we can see it. You can attach your quarter with these straps without needing the bag. Now it does sag a little in the bottom, like the Stone Glacier had that little pouch, which I like that design. But this is also a decent alternative. And I find that I normally keep my load, my meat above here anyways.
Okay.
So I don't have too many issues with it actually sagging out. Basically, attach your meat and then it's secure to the frame, and then you take your bag and you attach the bag to the frame. The reason I like that is because you don't have to put so much tension on your bag. So if you are on a backpacking hunt, your bag's gonna be full of 40 pounds, 50 pounds worth of gear that you probably don't want to have full tension on, or as much tension as you need to keep that meat secure to the frame.
True.
So I appreciate that design personally. I've used it quite a bit and it's worked well for me. One potential downside to this frame is the narrowness of it.
I do think it looks a little narrow, yeah.
Right, so even the Stone Glacier has a little more width. This is a very narrow frame if you are slapping a full Elkine quarter on here. I've done it, it works, but a little wider frame would just give you a little more security.
At the end of the day, when it comes to the pack out, most guys, gals, are probably just gonna grin and bear it and get it done, but sometimes it's the little things, especially at the price point of these type packs,
Yeah.
that maybe you just wanna find that one added feature that's gonna make your pack out experience that much more comfortable.
No, and that's a great point. Like, it's a trade-off, right? Like, the thin frame makes you feel more agile, the pack moves with you better. The downside is that maybe your pack out won't be quite as secure.
Yeah, you gotta give a little to get a little in almost every aspect, right? So
Right. But like you said, and this is kind of my mindset with these packs, is your pack out is only going to be 10% of the time that you spend with this pack on your back.
and if it's terribly uncomfortable, it's probably entirely memorable at the same time. I'm just saying. I'm just
Sure.
saying.
It's true. So anyways, like I said, I have no complaints with it, but I can see how people would look at this frame and be like, oh, it's too narrow. Maybe it's too narrow for you. Personally, I'm all for it. So.
And I do prefer a slimmer feel on my back than having, you know, that wide feel of a pack and frame on my back, especially when I'm moving through, you know, terrain, we'll call it. But
Couldn't agree more.
it gives me an added sense of mobility. But
oh, one thing I forgot to mention is there is a separate pouch for the water bladder, and there is waterproof fabric in there, so the meat, the blood will soak through the Cordura into the waterproof, the water pouch compartment, but it won't soak through that into your pack. It's not, like I've gotten these packs pretty smelly before because it doesn't have the waterproof material like the Stone Glacier does.
yeah,
But not a deal breaker for me.
at the end of the day, a couple blood stains just add to a couple memories at the same time. Throw it down in the driveway, hit it with a stiff bristle brush if you want, or even a pressure washer. I'm not encouraging anything specifically, but if the bag shows some use and wear, then
Means
what
you're
does it
using
really,
it.
what does it really matter, right?
Exactly.
So
That's all we got for the EXO. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and go watch the full pack comparison. We took the Stone Glacier, the EXO, the Kuyu, the Kafaru, and the Mystery Ranch, 50 and 100 pounds, about a mile in each. Yeah, go see what we thought there, and thanks for watching.